Hi, y'all. This is Armin Salik from the Youth Justice Alliance, and this is a quick video to help you with introducing evidence in youth and government mock trial. So let's get started. The most important thing to remember is that you have to lay the foundation for the introduction of the evidence. You should not just bring up a random document out of nowhere that you haven't established some kind of background for, that you haven't established a connection to the witness on. Okay, so that's why I put this little image on the left. Everything has to flow together. Lay the foundation before you introduce that evidence. So, what does that look like? I might ask the witness, "What is your occupation?" "I'm a grocery store manager." "At which grocery store?" "The HEB in the Mueller neighborhood in Austin, Texas." "And what are your primary responsibilities in that role?" "I'm in charge of hiring, so I meet candidates and prepare reports on all potential hires." "And were you in that role when the defendant was hired at your store?" "Yes." "Did you prepare a report on the defendant when he was a potential hire?" "Yes." So now I have connected this witness with this document, this report about the defendant's hiring when he was a candidate for that role. So I have that. So now that I've asked questions connecting the witness to the report, we can approach the witness with the evidence. And what I can do is this: "Your Honor, permission to approach the witness with what is pre-marked as Exhibit 3. Judge says you may. Let the record show that I am presenting Exhibit 3 to opposing counsel." So as I'm walking by opposing counsel's table, I show them the document. I don't have any holes in it. I don't have any highlighter marks on it. I don't have any pen marks on it. This is a clean copy of the exhibit so that it cannot be objected to. So I show the exhibit to opposing counsel, maybe give them a second to respond. They'll probably nod and say that they don't have an issue with it. And I will move forward up to the witness stand. So then I'll say to the witness, "Do you recognize this document?" "Yes." "What is it?" "It is the potential hire report I prepared when we interviewed the defendant." "Has it been altered in any way?" "No." So I've authenticated what the document is. I've established that it hasn't been changed for the courtroom. And now I'm ready for that next step. One thing I have to watch out for is any hearsay objections. So, in this situation, I can lay a little bit more of a foundation for that piece of evidence, knowing about a business record exception. I think this would qualify for a business record exception to the hearsay rule. Okay. So, I know that there are certain questions I have to ask. Do you recognize this document? What is it? Was this document made at or near the time of the event that it records? Was this document kept in the regular course of business? Was it the regular practice to make documents such as this one? Those first two questions that I marked in green, I already asked them. But those red marked questions, I still need to ask those questions so I can overcome any hearsay objections. So let me ask those right now. Was this document made at or near the time of the event that it records? Yes. Was this document kept in the regular course of business? Yes. Was it the regular practice to make documents such as this one? Yes. So now that the witness has answered all of those questions that would qualify this for the business record exception under Rule 8036 of our Youth and Government Rules of Evidence, I don't have to worry about opposing counsel making that hearsay objection. They know that I've laid a proper foundation. And if they do, I'll be able to say, "Your Honor, this qualifies under the business record exception to the hearsay rule." All right. So now I am ready to offer the exhibit into evidence. I've established the connection between the witness to the evidence. I have established that it is authenticated, that it hasn't been tampered with, and I even laid a foundation for a business record exception to the hearsay rule. So now what's the next step? Your Honor, we offer Exhibit 3 into evidence at this time. The authenticity of the exhibit has been established. Judge will ask, are there any objections? Maybe because I laid the foundation for that business record exception, opposing counsel will say, "None of this time, Your Honor." And then the judge will say, "Exhibit 3 is admitted into evidence. Please continue." Or opposing counsel will say, "Yes, Your Honor." And they'll state their grounds for objection, whether it's hearsay or another reason, a Rule 403 objection, if the prejudicial effect substantially outweighs the probative value. Take a look at the objection video if you need help with that. Then you might have to have a discussion. You might have to have a back and forth, and you should be ready to confront any of those objections if they come up. All right. But let's assume that you overcome the objection. The evidence is admitted, and now you can go back to the witness and ask about that document. Don't just get the evidence admitted. Now's your opportunity to ask questions about it. If you don't ask about it, the evaluators, the jury won't hear about it. So we can start our questions. What might that look like? What was the rating of this candidate according to this document? Well, he received an 80 out of 100. And is that typical for a candidate that was ultimately hired? Well, it was fairly low, but we needed the support, and so on. Now you can use that evidence. Now you can use all the information in that document and don't leave anything that's valuable behind. And be prepared for opposing counsel to use that piece of evidence against you as well. So that's a pretty simple way of admitting evidence and doing it in a way that'll show that you have command of the courtroom. And that business record exception will come up frequently. So that same language, those same questions that you need to ask to build up the foundation for that exception, be prepared for that as well. All right. Good luck introducing evidence, and just know that you're going to get better each time. Best of luck.